What's up, everyone? Justin here, back with a new fantasy booking, part 2 of my fantasy booking of the NXT Women's Division. Check out part 1, where I booked the end of 2020 and the start of 2021. This is part 2. Now, I did not book every single woman a part of the NXT women's roster. Some of them I just don't care enough to book or get them involved in booking them. Some like Aaliyah, I don't really care. I don't want her to lose her job and get released, but I don't really care what they do with her. This fantasy booking of the NXT Women's Division is mostly me booking Shotzi Blackheart and the rise of her and pushing her because I'm such a fan of her. So let's start off part 2. Kicks off with the third week in March 2021. I can't breathe. Something in the air, but whatever. The third week of March 2021 is where I start part 2. NXT TakeOver. NXT TakeOver Mania. NXT TakeOver Mania. 3 women's matches I got booked. Well, a mixed tag and 2 other women's matches. So at this TakeOver, 3 women's matches. I don't think a TakeOver has ever had 3 women's matches, I don't think. But in my fantasy booking shows, it does. So let's start off with the mixed tag at TakeOver Mania. Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano taking on Kaden Carter and Leon Ruff. I'm a fan of Kaden Carter. I think she's really good. I want to see her get a lot more TV time, especially in 2021. Book and show Kaden Carter a lot more on NXT TV. So, the mixed tag, Leon Ruff, Kaden Carter against Candice and Johnny. Your winners, Leon Ruff and Kaden Carter win. Up next at TakeOver Mania, Ember Moon takes on Toni Storm in a great 20-minute matchup, a 20-minute war, and it was really good. Toni Storm wins and defeats Ember Moon. Now, the championship match at TakeOver Mania. Again, this is in March 2021, right before WrestleMania. For the NXT Women's Championship, Io Shirai defends against Shotzi Blackheart. No disqualification. In my part 1, go back and watch it. I had Shotzi Blackheart win a number 1 contenders match to face a champion at TakeOver Mania. So Io Shirai defends against Shotzi Blackheart. I love these 2 fucking women. They're great. They're fantastic. I would never say a bad word about them. I'm a fan of both of them. But as a fantasy booker, I gotta book and I gotta put over and new NXT Women's Champion. Shotzi Blackheart wins the NXT Women's title off of Io Shirai. And I guess if I was fantasy booking the main roster WWE women, I would call up Io Shirai. Right after WrestleMania, I would call her up, have her face off with Asuka, and go into a feud with Asuka over the Raw Women's title. That's how I'd fantasy book Io Shirai on Raw. Have her go after Asuka. But I'm not going to do a whole, I'm not going to do a whole show fantasy booking the main women on the main roster. Or the main roster women. I doubt I'm going to fantasy book them. because I'm happy with what they're doing with Asuka as a champion still, and I'm happy with Bayley and Bianca and Sasha as champion. The tag titles, I'm not happy with that. Nia Jax should never hold a title again. And she's boring, and she's sloppy, she's a botch machine, and she's trash. If I was fantasy booking the main roster, I would release Nia Jax. Like, right away. Like, tonight, before Raw. So, again, Shotzi Blackheart, no DQ, it was awesome. Wins the NXT Women's title off of Io Shirai. Now let's go to NXT TV after TakeOver Mania. The women's tag titles are defended on NXT TV. They need to start doing that again. What the fuck? Why'd you take the women's tag titles off of SmackDown and NXT? I don't get it. That's stupid. Even make them go to NXT UK and defend them, even though I'm talking about fantasy booking here, but I don't think they want any of their main roster people going to the UK right now. I doubt it. But Nia and Shayna Baszler are still the women's tag champs. On the TakeOver, the NXT after TakeOver Mania, they're still the tag champs. Nia and Shayna defending against Io Shirai and Shotzi Blackheart. And Shotzi wins, and Io wins, and they are women's tag team champions, Io and Shotzi Blackheart is a double champion. NXT women's champ, and now a women's tag champ. That's how much I like Shotzi. I pushed her to become a double champ. Don't like it, I don't give a fuck. It's my fantasy booking, and I love Shotzi Blackheart. That's why I'm pushing her very, very strongly. And I'm pushing her very hardly. So up next, let's go to the NXT TakeOver in May. TakeOver May 2021. I didn't come up with a name for this TakeOver. I guess I could call it NXT TakeOver Evolution. Let's call it that. NXT TakeOver Evolution, May 2021. In a 30-minute Iron Women's matchup. 30-minute Iron Women's matchup for the NXT Women's title. Shotzi Blackheart defends against Toni Storm. Toni gets 2 falls, and Shotzi gets 3 falls in a 30-minute NXT Women's title Iron Woman match. So Shotzi Blackheart wins and still NXT Women's Champion. Shotzi Blackheart again. 30-minute Iron Woman match. She got 3 falls. Toni Storm got 2. I love Toni. I love Io, but right now I'm a bigger fan of Shotzi. So she wins, and she's still the NXT Women's Champion. That's all I got. This ends part 2. There will not be a part 3. This ends part 2 of my fantasy booking the NXT Women's Division. Shotzi Blackheart is your new NXT Women's Champion, and she is now the face of the NXT Women's Division. After defeating Toni Storm, I would have her go after and feud with Rhea Ripley. Why the hell not? So like, comment, share, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed part 2. Bye for now.